This is Andaluna from Argentina's Chardonnay, 2016 vintage, the Altitude. Why Andaluna? I love their story. They believe that there are two hemispheres of wine that come together, the earthly and the mythical, right? I think that's beautiful. The Andes, get it, Andes? It's the mountain that man knows and it cultivates in order to obtain the most perfect fruit, taking advantage of exceptional conditions of the land, the water, the high altitude climate. It's just very romantic, isn't it? But then there's the Luna. It's a space of inspiration and magic, essential for a great wine to be born. And I just think that is such a beautiful and stunning way to look at Argentinian wine, because you do have this the mythicalness, if that's a word, of those mountains, of the Andes, you know. I also love that these wines are just absolutely stunning. They really are very small production. We're looking at altitude now, so this is how they make this is they manually select bunches and then they go into a natural yeast fermentation with 50% in a second use French oak barrel and 50% in stainless steel tanks. Why do they do second use oak barrel? It's because they don't want the flavor of oak to overpower the wine. They really want the Chardonnay to shine, okay? So that's why we're using a second use French oak. When we're going into a first use French oak, that's where you're getting those big vanilla and coconut and all those kind of flavors. All right, so once they harvest them, manually harvest them, they'll then rest it in the French oak barrels for 3 to 6 months, and then they'll store the bottles for a minimum of 4 months before it's released. So first thing I want you to do is have a look at the color. Actually, you can actually give it a little bit of a whirl in your glass. You'll see I'm using an Overture glass, a Riedel Overture. I just think it's one of the best glasses for every wine. Like it's just every day, if you're looking for a wine, you know, a glass that can go with any wine, basically. You'll look at this as quite an oiliness. There's an oiliness to the legs, right? Very oily. And it's almost olive, like an olive yellow, like olive green kind of color, if you can see that in the appearance. When you see a wine, I guess a brand new wine, a brand new Chardonnay, it's, you know, you might see that it's quite light in color, and as it's aging, so right now we're looking at a 2016, as it ages, the color changes, and we're getting more into this beautiful olive color now, and it will eventually go a bit more yellow. Now, let's have a look at the nose. Ooh. So even though it is in French oak barrels, I'm sure a lot of you can agree that that smells oaky. You got those beautiful vanilla characters, but it's quite exquisite. You've still got tropical fruit, coconut, that nuttiness, those coconuts and those nuts, that's what's coming from the oak. But you're still getting that beautiful orange peel, lemon rind, all those beautiful characters that you expect from Chardonnay. Lots of tropical fruit. Like, I know, maybe because I'm eating a lot of pawpaw at the moment. I'm getting a lot of pawpaw out of this wine today, and I think it's just because I've been smelling so much pawpaw lately. So good when pawpaw is in season. Oh, love it. But yeah, lots of tropical fruit. But I'm getting like an almost, I don't know if you're seeing it at home, and feel free to post something in the chat, but like a herbal note, like quite a herbal, herbaceous, green kind of note. Like a dried herbal note. That's what I'm kind of getting from that nose as well. Can anyone see anything else? Or hopefully that's making sense to you? All right, let's give it a little bit of a whirl. Spat it all over myself. Great. Professional over here. Wow. So hopefully when I'm talking about that acidity earlier, you were listening and you could really feel that acidity, but it's very delicate. Makes it very fresh. Everything from the nose is definitely translating onto the palate, but can you agree that there is a lot of, like, even though it's second use oak barrels, there is so much vanilla coming through here. There's creaminess. But it's really smooth, and it's like the end. It just goes on and on. The finish is so long. This is actually a wine that could age for a lot longer. I thought it would be ready to drink now, but it's really beautiful. It's really structured. It's complex. Yeah, it's got beautiful acidity, but you're also getting that minerality. You're getting this gorgeous minerality. There's sometimes, you'll see sometimes I'll spit the wine, sometimes I'll drink it, because there's something on the finish that sort of comes through when you swallow. And one thing on the back of the palate I just got then was minerality. And when I say minerality, it's like, you know when you lick a pumice stone? Has anyone ever licked a pumice stone before? Don't recommend it. But it's, yeah, definitely like licking a pumice stone. That real mineral freshness, and that's definitely coming from the soils up in Tupungato. So I hope you enjoyed that little Argentine Chardonnay.